Welcome to the Archive Files, where the past meets the unknown and every secret has a story. Let's open today's file. Luxor, Egypt, a land where the golden sands hold thousands of years of secrets. But in 2026, beneath the shadow of the ancient mountains, a terrifying darkness awoke. It didn't start with a curse. It started with a whisper. In a small, quiet village on the edge of the desert, a chilling phenomenon began. Children were vanishing, one by one, into thin air. No ransom notes, no demands, just an empty space where a child's laughter used to be. The elders began to whisper a word that struck terror into everyone's hearts: the Rasad, the mythical, demonic guardian of the Pharaoh's tombs. Rumors spread that the ancient guardian was angry, demanding a blood sacrifice to keep its gold hidden. Fear paralyzed the village. Doors were locked before sunset. Mothers held their children tightly. But the entity taking these children wasn't a spirit from the underworld. It was something far more monstrous. Captain Ahmed, a seasoned detective from the city, was called to investigate. He didn't believe in ghosts, and he didn't believe in ancient curses. To him, every mystery had a human face and a human motive. Ahmed walked through the narrow, dusty alleys of the village. The air was heavy with grief and suspicion. Neighbors looked at each other with distrust. He visited the home of the latest missing child, a 7-year-old boy named Youssef. Youssef had vanished from his own courtyard while his mother stepped inside for just a minute. No tracks were left in the sand. It was as if he had evaporated. But Ahmed noticed something others missed. Near the courtyard wall, there was a faint trace of unique white limestone dust, a type of stone not found on the surface of this village, but deep beneath the earth, inside the ancient tombs. The human monsters were leaving a trail. Following the geological trail of the limestone dust, Ahmed's investigation led him to the outskirts of the village, where the desert began to swallow the mud brick houses. There stood an abandoned mansion, half buried in the sand. It belonged to an old man known locally as the Sheikh, a self-proclaimed sorcerer who claimed he could speak to the jinns of the underworld. Late at night, under the cover of a moonless sky, Ahmed and a small team of armed officers breached the heavy wooden doors of the mansion. The air inside was suffocating, smelling of old incense and decaying stone. As they searched the dark rooms with flashlights, a faint, rhythmic thumping sound echoed from beneath their feet. Ahmed pushed aside a heavy, dusty rug in the main hall. Beneath it lay a trapdoor. When they lifted it, a dark, narrow tunnel spiraled down into the abyss. They were descending into the belly of the beast. The tunnel went deep, breaking through modern foundations into a genuine, undiscovered ancient Egyptian tomb. The walls were covered in magnificent, colorful hieroglyphs of ancient gods, but the scene on the floor was pure horror. In the center of the chamber, illuminated by flickering torches, was a massive stone sarcophagus. Surrounding it were ancient artifacts, modern digging tools, and ritualistic symbols drawn in red. And there they were, the missing children locked in a makeshift wooden cage, crying silently in the dark. Standing over them was the Sheikh, holding an ancient ceremonial dagger alongside 3 wealthy antiquities smugglers. The Sheikh was chanting an incantation. They weren't just digging for gold. The sorcerer had convinced the smugglers that only the blood of an innocent child could break the Pharaoh's curse and open the sealed golden door of the inner chamber. The police drew their weapons. The trap was sprung. "Freeze! Police!" Ahmed's voice echoed like thunder through the ancient tomb. The smugglers panicked. One drew a weapon, but the officers were faster. Within seconds, the criminals were disarmed and forced to their knees. The children were rushed out of the dark cavern, back into the warm, safe embrace of the night air and their weeping families. The nightmare was finally over. As the Sheikh and his greed-driven accomplices were led away in handcuffs, Captain Ahmed looked back at the ancient hieroglyphs one last time. The ancient Egyptians built these tombs to honor life and the afterlife. They never demanded the blood of children. The true curse of the Pharaohs wasn't a supernatural spell or a demonic guardian. The true curse was the dark, bottomless depth of human greed. The file is closed, but the mystery continues. Subscribe to the archive files for more untold stories. Until next time.